Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren, and I am going to walk you through a short little practice where we're going to focus on our hips and our hamstrings, and you don't need anything. You know, I always like to have two blocks and a blanket, but you don't need anything. And we're going to be on our back. So come down onto your back, get yourself comfortable. All right. So come on down onto your back, and if you are using something under your head, make sure it's just under your head and your neck, not your shoulders. Maybe you have the arms alongside the body. Maybe let the arms come out in opposite directions. But take 3 deep breaths here, just letting yourself really feel your body against the ground. Allow your body to relax and release. Notice what your body has to say. All right. Okay. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, grab onto the back of your right thigh. Bring both hands to the back of your right thigh. Now, your left knee, I would suggest keeping the left knee bent, the left foot flat on the ground. So both knees, I guess, are bent. And so hug the right thigh into the belly, keep it in tight, soften the shoulders, relax the arms. We're going to move the right leg. Inhale as you lengthen, exhale as you bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. And we're going to stay here for a few more moments. Inhale, reach the foot for the sky. Exhale, deeply bend the knee, heel towards the earth. And you should feel this opening up through the back of the thigh. Again, soften shoulders and arms. Think about broadening the collarbones, lifting the heart, soften the throat. Let's do 3 more. Okay. And then you can allow the knee to softly bend. And now we're going to allow the thigh to come away from us. So you're going to allow the thigh to come away to straighten the arm. So maybe that's just sort of holding the sides of the thigh, or maybe the fingers are interlaced, whatever it is. But the thigh, instead of drawing it really in tight, let it come a little bit farther away. So now when you lengthen your right leg, the right leg can get straight. So see if you can get your right leg so it's more straight than it was before. And then instead of moving at the knee, we're going to move at the hip. So keep the knee as it is. Inhale. Exhale, pull the whole leg in towards you. We're going to do this a couple times. Inhale, let the leg come away. Exhale, pull the whole leg in towards you. So the knee more or less is staying straight. The movement is deep at the hip. So you'll feel this a little deeper in the hip. Now soften shoulders, relax the arms. Notice what you feel in the thigh. 3 more here. All right, now making sure that the left foot is flat on the ground, left knee is bent. We're going to take figure 4. Bring your right ankle to the top of your right thigh. Softly flex the right foot, protect the knee. You could stay here. You could bring your right hand to your right thigh and gently draw your right thigh away from your belly, away from your chest, towards the top of your mat. And you could be here and feel that a little bit more through the hip flexor in the front of the hip. Or maybe both hands come to the back of the left thigh and you hug the left thigh in. Maybe the hands come to the left shin and then softly flex the left foot. Soften shoulders, relax the arms. We're going to stay for a few breaths. So just notice what you're feeling through the thighs, the hips, even the lower back. Soften the hands, arms, shoulders. 3 more breaths here. Okay, now keep the legs in this formation. Just release the hands, release the arms, let the left foot come down onto the ground. Cross the right leg all the way over your left so your thighs are together. There's no more space between them. And now draw the thighs back in, the knees back in. So you might grab onto the knees, you might grab onto the shins, maybe the ankles, maybe the feet. When I grab onto the feet, I like to softly flex the feet again to protect the knee. Why not, right? It's not too much effort. And then find the position that feels good. So you might have to kind of play with drawing the knees away and then in towards you, and drawing the feet towards the sky and then towards the earth. But the hope is that you can find a comfortable stretch through the outer thigh, outer part of the hip, and wherever you land, whatever that looks like, you're relaxing your shoulders, broadening through the collarbones, letting the back of your skull melt into the floor. Three more breaths. All right, now you're going to keep your legs more or less like this. Just release the arms. Let the arms go out in opposite directions, palms face up. Let the left foot come back down onto the ground. Keep the right leg crossed over it, but scoot the hips a couple inches over to the right so they're off centered, off your mat. And then let the legs drop over to the left. So scooting the hips over should help you let the right hip roll forward and let that right hip come forward. But as the right hip rolls forward and sort of over to the left, keep the right shoulder down. Now you've got a few options here. You're feeling something, I'm sure, through the spine, maybe the lower back, the hips, the outer thigh. You can stay just like this and keep the legs as they are. If you want to get back into the hamstring in the in the back of the right leg, instead of having the right leg crossed over and the knee bent, keep the thigh as it is, but start to slowly lengthen the right leg, like you're reaching your right toes back towards your left shoulder or your left hand. And then maybe your left hand does grab onto your right foot. And again, you draw those toes back. So you can focus on reaching back or having the legs crossed and letting the knee come down. But either way, drop the right shoulder onto the floor, onto the mat. Maybe turn at the neck, look over the right shoulder. We're taking 3 breaths here. If your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center, nose to the sky. And then slowly return the legs back to the center, kneecaps to the sky. Uncross the legs, recenter the hips. Bring yourself back to neutral. Take a moment here and notice how you feel. All right. Okay. So start with the knees bent, feet flat. We're going to keep the right foot flat, right knee bent, but inhale. Exhale, draw the left thigh in towards the belly. Hold on to the back of the thigh. Now, first, we're going to keep the left knee bent and focus on drawing the thigh in. So what I want you to focus on is thigh in towards the belly. Now the hip's going to stay still. So the thigh is in towards the ribs, knee is in towards the chest. And now we inhale, let the left foot float to the sky. Exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. Notice that your left leg does not become a perfectly straight line. That's okay. We're going to do that in a moment. So we're going to open the hamstring in a different way in just a moment. So here, focus on the knee opening and closing, the hip staying still. It's your anchor. Soften shoulders and arms. Relax throat, neck, and jaw. 3 more like this. And then allow that left knee to bend, but allow the left thigh to come away from you. So you're going to lengthen the left arms, and maybe you're just the left arms, lengthen the arms so the left thigh comes away from you. And maybe your fingers aren't interlaced anymore. That's all right. But we want to lengthen the left leg so that the knee is long, and we're going to focus on the hip. So can you make the left leg a straight line? And maybe you can't. That's okay. But inhale, exhale, pull that whole leg in towards you at the hip. Inhale, let it come away. Exhale, draw it in. And continue like this. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Notice what you're feeling. Notice if there are any spaces you can soften, anywhere you can relax. Three more here. All right, and then again, make sure that the right knee is bent, right foot is flat, and take figure 4. Left ankle to the top of the right thigh, softly flex the left foot. You could stay here. You could bring left hand to left thigh, push left thigh away from your belly, away from your chest, towards the top of your mat. Feel it a little bit more in the hip flexor, inner front part of the hip, or maybe hands to the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin, and draw the legs in. Now maintain a soft flex in the feet. Shoulder blades away from the ears towards the hips and away from the ceiling towards the floor. Relax throat, neck, jaw. Ever so slightly lift the chest. Three more breaths. Keep the legs like this. Just release the hands. Let the right foot come down onto the ground. Cross the left leg all the way over. So get rid of the space between the thighs. And now draw the thighs back in. So thighs in towards the belly, hands onto the shins, the ankles, the feet. Again, when I grab onto the feet, I like to flex the feet. Just a little protection. Why not, right? And then kind of find the spot. Find where you need to be, where you're like, ooh, that feels good. That's what this stretch should do. All of them really, but this one tends to sort of have a universal feeling of that. So once you find it, lengthen the legs, bend them, shift, wiggle, move, and then relax. Where can you relax? You can always count on the muscles of your face. They can always relax a little more. Probably the shoulders, probably the hands. Three more breaths. Right, and then slowly release the feet. Let the right foot come back onto the ground. Arms will come out in opposite directions, palms up. Scoot the hips a couple inches over to the left. Let the knees fall over to the right. So we want the left hip to roll forward and over to the right, but keep the left shoulder down. What we're really trying to do is create space between the left hip and the left shoulder. So the shoulder's got to stay down, but let that hip come up. So letting the left leg cross over is one way to do that. But if you want to focus more on the hamstring, the back of the thigh, keep the thigh more or less where it is, but allow the left leg to lengthen. Now it's like you're reaching your toes back. Maybe you grab onto the foot. Maybe it comes to the ground. Maybe you rest it on a block. But again, shoulders are down on the ground. Let the left hip reach up and over to the right. Do what you need to in the legs. Maybe turn at the neck to look over the left shoulder. And breathe. Three more breaths. And if your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center. Return your legs back to center. Uncross the legs. Recenter the hips. Come to some form of symmetry, something neutral. Notice how you feel. All right. Now you might stay here, take some more deep breaths. I think I'm going to take a supported butterfly. I'm going to bend my knees, feet flat on the ground. I'm going to grab a block in each hand, bring the blocks to the outer hips, sort of outer thighs. Let the knees drop out, bottoms of the feet come together. So from a bird's eye view, the legs make the shape of a diamond. And when you're here, it might feel good to let the arms come out in opposite directions or hands on the hips, hands on like the low belly feels good. And you might stay for just a couple of breaths, but this is a position that feels good to stay for several minutes. So I'm going to stay for a while. You do what you need and take your time wherever you need to be. So you take whatever you want to do. And as you do that, I'm going to stay here, do my thing, and I'm going to enjoy my day. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.